want to throw the hardest punch humanly possible, like really fuck someone's day up with one shot. Well, here's the thing, your body's basically holding you back on purpose. You've got all this potential destructive power locked inside you, but your nervous system is like that responsible friend who takes your keys when you're drunk, and honestly, that friend is saving your ass. Your body has emergency brakes, and they are not optional. Inside your muscles and tendons, you've got these little sensors called Golgi tendon organs. Think of them as tiny panic buttons that monitor how much tension is building up. When things start getting dangerous, like when you're about to rip your own tendons off your bones, these sensors send an urgent message to your nervous system. Dude, chill the fuck out or we're all gonna die. Your nervous system listens and immediately reduces the force your muscles can produce. It's not weakness, it's your body trying not to self-destruct. You've also got muscle spindles that monitor stretching, reflexes that stop your joints from bending in ways they shouldn't, and your brain sitting on top of everything like an overprotective parent, constantly limiting how much power you're allowed to use. This is why during extreme emergencies, like when someone lifts a car off their kid, people can suddenly access strength they didn't know they had. It's not that they got stronger, it's that the brain temporarily turned off that safety limiter because survival was more important than protection. And guess what happens afterward? Those people get injured, torn muscles, damaged tendons, stress fractures. The brakes exist for a reason. What happens if you remove the brakes? Spoiler. Bad shit. Okay, so let's play a fun game of biological Russian roulette. What if we could actually turn off all those safety machines and let your muscles contract with 100% of their theoretical maximum force? What would happen? Short answer, your body would eat itself alive. Your tendons would be the first casualties. These are the thick white cords that connect muscle to bone, and they have a breaking point. When a muscle contracts harder than the tendon can handle, the tendon tears, just rips apart like an old rubber band. In your arm, this means instant holy fuck that hurts pain, and possibly your tendon literally detaching from the bone. Fun. Next up, your muscles themselves. Without proper coordination, some muscle fibers would contract too early, others would stretch too far, and the internal pressure would cause them to tear from the inside out. You'd get micro tears, massive bruising, and swelling so bad you couldn't move your arm within seconds. But wait. There's more. The force would travel through your shoulder and elbow joints, which are basically hinges that can only bend so far. Without control, these hinges would over-rotate. You're looking at dislocations, torn joint capsules, and ligaments that get stretched beyond their limits or straight up ripped off the bone. The physics of impact, aka how to hurt yourself by hitting someone. Now, let's say somehow your arm survived all that internal carnage, and your punch actually connects with something. Maybe a wall, maybe someone's face, doesn't matter. Here's where physics becomes your enemy. That energy you generated doesn't just disappear when you hit something. If the target is hard or rigid, a huge chunk of that energy bounces right back into you like a boomerang made of pain. This is why punching a concrete wall fucks you up worse than punching a heavy bag. The wall doesn't absorb shit. It just reflects your own force back into your hand. The smaller your contact area, the more concentrated that energy becomes. Hit with your knuckles, more penetration, but also more chance of breaking your own bones. If your fist isn't perfectly aligned, and let's be real, in a full rage scenario it probably isn't, your wrist has to absorb all the misaligned force. That's how you get the classic boxer's fracture, where your fifth metacarpal bone, the one connected to your pinky, just snaps. Professional fighters don't hit harder because they use more force. They hit harder because they use force efficiently. Their punches are coordinated, timed, and aligned, so the energy flows cleanly from their body into the target without bouncing back. They are not fighting their own anatomy, they are working with it. When someone just swings with pure rage and no technique, they are not calculating anything. They are just mashing all the buttons at once and hoping something good happens. And when physics takes over, all the anger and adrenaline in the world won't save you from the recoil. But okay, what's the actual maximum force? Give me the numbers. Alright, you want the math? Let's fucking do this. Take the absolute strongest human specimen at peak physical condition. Someone like a heavyweight boxer or MMA fighter who's genetically gifted and perfectly trained. We're talking someone like Francis Ngannou, who literally holds the world record for the hardest measured punch. A professional heavyweight can generate around 1300 to 1800 pounds of force in a normal controlled punch. That's already insane. Roughly the equivalent of getting hit by a small car going 15 miles per hour, or having a 400-pound weight dropped on you from 5 feet up, but that's with the safety brakes on. Studies suggest that if you could somehow remove all the inhibitory mechanisms and fire every muscle fiber simultaneously at maximum capacity, the human body could theoretically produce 2.5 to 3 times more force than it normally does. So we're looking at somewhere between 3,250 and 5,400 pounds of force. To put that in perspective, that's enough force to punch through a car door, shatter a cinder block into dust, or deliver roughly 2,700 joules of energy, about the same as getting shot with a .44 Magnum. Your fist would be moving at somewhere between 30 and 45 miles per hour, and all that kinetic energy would transfer into a contact zone about the size of 2 postage stamps. What kind of damage would that do to a human body? Catastrophic skull fractures, instant brain trauma from your brain bouncing inside your skull like a basketball, shattered facial bones, detached retinas, possible instant death if the punch lands in the wrong spot, like directly on the temple or the base of the skull where the brainstem is. But here's the kicker. The person throwing that punch, they'd be just as fucked. At those force levels, you're looking at completely shattered hand bones, a dislocated or destroyed shoulder joint, torn pectoral muscles ripped clean off the bone, and possibly a snapped radius or ulna in your forearm. You'd throw one punch and never be able to use that arm properly again. The bottom line: your body isn't holding you back to be a dick. It's holding you back because using 100% of your theoretical maximum force would literally break you. The hardest punch you can actually throw isn't about raw force. It's about finding that sweet spot between maximum power and not turning your arm into a bag of broken bones and torn meat. Scientists call this protective inhibition. I call it your body being smarter than your ego, because there's a massive difference between punching with rage and punching with purpose. One destroys your opponent, the other destroys you both. Peace.